So we at Tiffany's house, playing board games and whatnot. Dakota get up and say, "Oh, I'm about to go to the bathroom." I look at him like, I want to go first. So he go to the bathroom. I walk up in there, I'm like, "What's this smell?" He was like, "Man, I was taking a shit." I was like, "You only take a shit when I tell you you can." He was like, "Man, get out of here." I'm like, "Don't you sass me, Dakota. I'll slit your throat from ear to ear." So I'm like, "Get up off this toilet before I stick this knife down your throat." He was like, "Man, you ain't gonna do nothing." What did I tell you before? Pulled out my knife, cut him while he's on the toilet. I'm like, "You better move." He fell on the ground. I'm like, "Is you dead yet? Cause you still shitting." I had to clean that shit up. It pissed me off so bad. Cleaned it up. Took a shit. Wiped my ass. And left. Without flushing. Now you tell me. Is that Shistie?
So, after we get done playing Monopoly, Dante talking about, "I'm tired of this. Let's go outside and play something else." Brittany talking about, "Let's come play tag, bitch." I don't want to play no damn tag. I got asthma. So, we go outside and play tag. No fucking coats on. Like I said, I got asthma. It's cold outside. Can I breathe in the cold? So we outside playing tag and shit. She on the side of the car like, "Where everybody at? Where everybody at?" "Right here, bitch." So, motherfucking killer started chasing her and shit. She running down the motherfucking alley, falling and shit, making a scene and shit. Knocking over our garbage cans. You know that's a motherfucking fine. When we get it, you paying for it. So, after he dumped her ass in the motherfucking trunk and shit, he skirted off in her car. Put her in her own trunk. You tell me. Is that Shistie?
So I walk into the house, thinking that everybody gone. I make me a quick sandwich, grab me a newspaper, and walk into the bathroom. And I see Tiffany sitting on the floor or something. I'm like, "Bitch, what you doing?" She was like, "Look at Dakota, he's there." I was like, "Bitch, I know, I did it." She was like, "What? I don't understand." I was like, "Bitch, you better understand." She looked at me confused, like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Hey, Tiffany, you ever met Greg?" She was like, "Who is Greg?" I punched her in her mouth and said, "That's Greg. You better say hi next time you see him." She laying there, bleeding. I'm like, "Bitch, you better clean this up." She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "First of all, don't talk to me." Pulled out my knife, cut her in the neck, killed her. I looked at her like, "Bitch, that was your fault. You could have avoided it. If you would have not have been in the house, I want to take another shit." Now you tell me. Is that Shistie?
So I walk outside, and I see that motherfucker Neek, Mr. Dominique motherfucking Long, outside on that fucking iPhone. I'm like, "Neek, let me use that phone real quick." He like, "Man, for what, man? I'm caking and shit. I don't give a fuck about that you caking with. Let me use your phone." He like, "Man, come on, man. I just asked you what you need to use for." I'm like, "I need to look up the movies." He like, "What movies?" I'm like, "Jilly, Why Did I Get Married, Thriller, and The Ringer." He like, "Man, Thriller ain't even know. I don't give a fuck if Thriller in the movies or not. Let me get that fucking iPhone." So this motherfucker stand there talking shit, all hood and whatnot. So you know what I did? I knocked that motherfucker over the banister. Clean over that motherfucker. He fell, neck crooked to the side and shit. I don't give a fuck. You should have gave me that iPhone. So now he on the ground, laid out and shit. dead, and he still got that iPhone. That motherfucker ring, I walked up and got it. Ignored that fucking call and looked up the movies. Pissed off. Man, I was pissed off. Now you tell me.
Is that Shistie?
So I come back into the house. That nigga's real. Screaming like a little bitch.
You little bitch.
He was like, where is everybody? I was like, nigga, don't you see everybody dead?
Dumbass.
You want to be next?
I think he did.
I told nigga, once and for all, number one, don't ask me questions.
Motherfucker.
The other day, the nigga was like, oh man, we gotta pay the rent. Like, I don't live with you.
Sure don't.
He was like, man, what you talking? I was like, I'm not paying no bills. You paying it all by yourself.
By your motherfucking self.
So that nigga still talking. I slapped that bitch so fast.
Slapped his ass.
Back to Chicago. He was like, man, why you slap me? Like, cause I can.
Slap your ass anytime you want, Mr. President.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
Not a damn thing.
I choked that nigga so fast.
I choked his ass.
That nigga on the ground, choking it, gasping for air. I'm like, what you looking for?
The fuck you looking for, motherfucker?
You ain't getting no air?
No air.
So the nigga dead. Went in his pockets. Like,
Checked his ass.
where's your money?
Motherfucker ain't had shit, did he?
Didn't have none. Cut him. Cut his wrist. Vertically. Left. Made me a sandwich. And left. Now you tell me. Is that Shistie?